Good morning. Welcome to Haven on Earth. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has left a comment with blessings and prayers and well wishes for us. We moved here September 12th, and our house was supposed to close in Abilene the following day, and it was delayed. It fell out of escrow. We found a new buyer, and we were supposed to close on Monday, which is in 3 days, and that has been delayed. So right now we're looking at possibly November 12th, but I just wanted to update you all because I know some of you have asked how we're doing and that you have been through this yourself. So I just wanted to say thank you and continue to pray for us and send us blessings and keep us in your thoughts. Thank you. The goats are all doing great. We've had some rain, but they've all been doing good. In fact, today it was supposed to rain all day, but it's barely drizzled. Just this morning we had a little bit of rain. And some of you have commented that you have plans to do the same thing someday. Start a homestead from scratch. So today I thought I would just show you our property and how we plan to lay it out. Because I know some of you have had some great suggestions for us as well. And just for reference, this is the southwest corner of our 2-acre plot of land. And the first thing that we needed to decide was where to put the house, which was kind of already made up for us because of the electric pole and where that sits, as well as the septic and the water. So here is the electric pole, and they'll wire the house up to this pole, and then here it's pretty level. And so here, right in front of us, is where the house will sit, and then it slopes up to the top. And in relation to that, here is where the water is. So the house will sit to the right of the electric pole where it's flat, and then Jason wants it to face the trees because he thinks that that's the best view. And you can see we did get some rain because our wet weather creek has water in it. I'm not sure if that's a technical term or if this really qualifies as a wet weather creek. That's what I'm calling it. And then our next consideration was the goats, because we want to give them plenty of pasture to be able to graze, have plenty of space. And if you can see, this area here is on top of a slope, and then it slopes down into that wet weather creek. And so I wanted to put them up here because the water will drain down. Goats do not like to have their feet wet. They can actually get hoof rot. And so I did not want them to be in boggy or wet soil or grass. So they're kind of up here on top of this slope. We also didn't want them right next to the house because goats are very destructive. I mean, they're curious, they're playful, but they will eat your garden. They'll climb on your furniture, your outdoor furniture. They will ruin anything that's not permanently locked down. So we wanted them to have their own space away from the house. I also wanted to keep them away from this electric pole for obvious reasons. And then see how it slopes down here. And then the neighbor who used to live on our property, he said that over here, the southeast corner where we started, that this will, or he's seen it flood. So I'm assuming all the water runs down from the top and then settles here. Now we may put animals here in the future, I'm not sure, but right now this is not planned. So the goats, when we get them hooked up. They're going to pretty much have from the start of the property, the west side, all the way up to where you can see the chicken coop. Like that's where the wet weather creek starts. So that's where their pen will go to. And they may end up getting the entire front, the entire west front, just so that we can rotate them and practice some permaculture where we're letting the ground and the grass rest while allowing other ground to replenish itself and have the grass grow back. And we have the movable coop for the chickens, so the chickens are going to be rotated throughout the entire area. And then this, I'm standing in the northeast part of our property, and we have 2 acres. We had 1 in Abilene, and I swear this feels like 5. But I've never had 5 acres, so I don't know what that feels like. It just feels way bigger than 1. So here's the start of that creek from a different angle. And so the goats are going to have all the way up until here, for sure. And maybe all the way in the front. And then my favorite, this is going to be where the garden is going to be. So here I'm going to do a perennial garden with flowers, bulbs, maybe some berry bushes. And where the 2 rings are, that's going to be my apothecary beds, like herbs. And then behind this is going to go my raised garden bed. And I've decided to go with hugelkultur beds, because we have plenty of access to sticks and logs and leaves. And I had a raised bed garden in Abilene, and I really liked it. And really I just liked it because it felt more organized to me. Like I knew what I was going to plant in each different bed, and I knew how much space I would need for things. Plus I think that it can be a little bit artistic. And then to the right of the raised bed garden, this is going to be an in-ground garden bed. And I'll have a little seating area in there as well. And then that is my stock tank fish pond, so I can fertilize with fish water. So from the northwest to the east, this is all planned. And where the house will be is planned. It's going to go by the electric pole there. And then this is going to be like a zen garden, woodland garden underneath all the oak trees. And this is just a different angle. And so technically this is going to be our front yard. So then this area under these oak trees is kind of going to be our backyard. And my mother's husband has a plan to build us a deck here. Well, for him and Jason to build us a deck. And it's kind of going to be a raised or floating deck. So we're curious about that. When we had family here in September, we had shade for most of the day, or most of the morning from the back. And then in the afternoon, this part would be shady. So that's why we want to put the deck here. This will be our summer afternoon shade spot. And our driveway will go here. Well, you can tell that they had a driveway here before, but it's all overgrown. It's not gravel anymore. And then here, all the way down on the south side of the property, you can see that there's a drain ditch here. So that where the driveway was is the only place where that doesn't exist. And so here's the northeast corner. And the reason I made the comment about the ditch was that we put the dumpsters here, which is one of our businesses that we have. We put these here because it's up higher. They shouldn't be in the mud. And you can access or put them here through the driveway. But mostly the entire south side of our property is not planned. So if you guys have any suggestions for us, please leave them in the comments down below. and I'd love to hear about them. And if you think mushrooms would grow in here, we'd love to grow mushrooms. Thanks again for all the comments and well wishes. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'm going to go eat some homemade from scratch beef stew.